Great. Welcome everyone to the 2021 Smart Arts Education Institute. My name is Kimberly Sims Gibbs and I'm the Director of Arts Education for the Metropolitan Arts Council here in Greenville, South Carolina. I want to give a shout out for the TD Center for Arts Integration, which is where SmartARTS is housed. Also, I want to give a shout out to our headline sponsor, which is Prisma Health, who is sponsoring this year's SmartARTS Education Institute. So thank you for the many, many people that make our work possible. As you know, schools do not have to pay a dime for any of the time that the artists spend in your classroom. We pay for those artist residency fees. SmartARTS also pays for all the art supplies that are needed and just for administrative support. And we do all of that through raising money from local philanthropic groups and local corporate groups. Today at lunch, you will all be receiving a t-shirt that says SmartARTS on the front and recognizes all of our sponsors on the back. We'll also be recognizing all of our sponsors at the lunch today. So we're very excited that at 12 o'clock, if you can, I think we're gonna open the doors about 11:45. If you want to kind of get there a little early so you can park. There is street parking around the Peace Center, but there's also parking, of course, in all those parking garages that are downtown. But the Huguenot Mill is where the lunch is going to be. And that is basically, if you go down Broad Street, past the Peace Center, past the concert hall, the Huguenot Mill is just right there. They have like a street entrance right on to Broad Street. So it's pretty easy to find. I think we sent the address to everybody as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there today. We're very excited that all of our artists will be joining us. So this will be a great opportunity for us to network as teachers. I feel like we never get to talk to each other enough when we're in our classrooms and so busy during the school year. But also to get to meet and learn more about the artists and do some scheduling and planning after the lunch. Yes, Loom does have a time limit, but luckily I think we're doing things that are pretty short. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on the chat here. So what we're gonna be doing here in a few minutes is introducing Kelly Davis, but I did wanna mention just a few housekeeping things. There is a Google attendance question, which is also really just a reflection on today's session. So if you guys would kind of do that towards the end of the session, that would be perfect. There will also be an attendance code, but I'm going to give that to everybody at the lunch today. If you're not attending the lunch, just shoot me an email about when you are planning to plan with your artist, and I can send you that attendance code for our meeting. We do not have to put that in until 4:30. Well, you need to put it in by 4:30. If you're somebody who is doing the self-paced because you're teaching summer school this morning, just shoot me an email and I will help you get that worked out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just drop one more time our Google document into the chat. And I would like to just kind of very quickly just go through a few elements that are in the Google document today before I bring Kelly up. So I'm going to share my screen for just a second. Okay, so share my screen. Perfect. Okay, so this is our Google document. You guys have already got the Zoom meeting here, so you're ready to go. Also, we are using Padlet. Teachers have had no problem accessing it this week. So for this session, we are going to be using Padlet. What we're going to be doing in the breakout rooms is creating and recording a little bit and then uploading that to Padlet so that when we do the mock trial, Kelly can use all that for the mock trial. We'll talk more about that later. Also on here, number 5 is the Google attendance question. So you want to do that towards the end of the session because it's like a reflection. And then when we get to the breakout rooms, you will all be automatically assigned through 8 different breakout rooms. And so whichever room you're in, like if you're in room 4, you want to come and get the assignment for room 4, basically is the way that's going to work later on. And at the end here, there are some additional resources. For those of you that are in year 2 or year 3, I've also added at the end of this just general resources. So for example, normally when we were in person, I would give you all a folder of resources. So this year that is just a PDF. It says Smart Arts Institute teacher folder. So that is right there. There is a link to Edutopia, which has got some amazing lesson plans for arts integration that I wanted to share with you. The Kennedy Center has a really great checklist, an article on arts integration that I found that I wanted to share. And then of course, too, if you've done our training before, I really love using paintings and visual arts in my own personal classroom. And so there's a link here to the National Gallery of Art because they have a lot of really fabulous resources there as well. And then the last thing I want to mention before we kind of get on to our process drama is that we do have a blog for SmartARTS, and this is where all of our forms are going to be. I know all my second and third year teachers have done this in the past, but last year was such a funny year that I do want to just quickly just remind everybody where you can find all of our forms, which is just on our blog. And you just click on forms and everything is right here. If you need a review of anything or you suddenly, just get really confused, there is a PowerPoint here that is kind of goes back over the nuts and bolts of what you need to do to plan your unit. There's also a unit checklist. So I'm the kind of person, I like to print something off and then just check off that I've done everything. So there is that checklist right on here. So if you want to do that, you can. And then of course, here is our application that you'll be using to plan with your artist. So I just wanted to kind of just mention that those things are there because I know some of us did have done units in the past, but maybe didn't get to do one last year. And sometimes you just forget where everything is. So, okay, so that is kind of just a little bit of housekeeping. Let me just check in the chat real quick and see if anybody had any questions about that. Right, does anybody have any questions just about the unit plan or anything before we move on to process drama or where to find anything? And remember too, if you ever get confused, I'm available for Zoom meetings. I'm available to meet with you and your artist if y'all are having a tough time. So anytime that you need help, definitely just reach out to me. So I just kind of want to reiterate that because my job is to help you guys. So great. Okay. Well, now we're going to get on to the fun stuff. I actually have a theater background myself. I went to the Fine Arts Center here for theater. So I'm really excited that Kelly is able to present this today. Kelly Davis has been a teaching artist with SmartARTS since spring of 2019. She was a recipient of the 2020 Carrie and Skip Gordon Teaching Artist of the Year Award from SmartARTS. Kelly has worked as a professional actress in New York City and regionally, and is an ERYT 200 certified yoga teacher with various specialties. In upstate South Carolina, Kelly has performed with the Proud Mary Theater Company, Milltown Players, Center Stage, the Greenville Chorale, and is also a teaching artist with the Warehouse Theater. Kelly is VP of the family business Firefly Solar and Roofing. She holds a BFA in acting and a minor in musical theater from the Marymount Manhattan College, is a graduate of the British American Dramatic Academy's London Theater Program, and studied in New York at Upright Citizens Brigade, Michael Howard, and Penny Templeton Studios. So let's welcome Kelly Davis to the virtual stage. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. Thanks for that nice introduction, Kimberly.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So welcome everyone to Process Drama. I'm going to share my screen. The PowerPoint is available as well at the link on the info sheet, but you should be able to see it in just a moment. So I see that some people have already commented in the Padlet. If you haven't, go ahead and click on there and check it out. This is not live. This is just a screenshot from the other day. But I see a bunch of you have already introduced yourselves. So thank you for doing that. Let's see. So we're going to do a little bit of a physical theater warm up. The first half of the lesson plan is kind of geared toward the little ones, like kindergarten, first and second grade. And it's based on Mango, Abuela, and Me by Meg Medina. And then we'll take a tiny break. And then the second part of the workshop is based on Lord of the Flies by William Golding. And we'll be doing a mock trial.
Awesome.
And then we also have our reflection.
Kelly, when we get to Mango, Abuela, and Me, we are going to do a fishbowl. And so the way that's going to work is, well, let's go ahead and do our warm up, and then I'll jump back in and give the teacher some instructions on the fishbowl.
All right. Sounds good. So for our warm up, if everyone could please stand up and clear out your space behind you. Okay. And then if you bring your fists together, that should be about hip width distance. So go ahead and place your fists in between your feet on the floor. Good. All right. Now, all together, let's take a deep breath in, reaching your arms out and up and gazing up towards your hands. And then as you exhale, let your knees bend, forward fold over your legs. On your inhale, take a look behind you, step your right foot back into a lunge. Inhale, your arms rise up. And then as you exhale, we're going to twist to the left. On your in-breath, bring your arms back to center. And as you exhale, step forward. Second side, breathing in, your arms reach out and up. Exhale, hinging at your waist, forward fold. Other side, inhale, step your left foot back to a lunge. And as you exhale, we twist to the right. Inhale, the arms go up. And exhale, center. So when I do it with the kiddos, we say, hello, sun, hello, grass. So let's go a little bit faster. So breathing in, hello, sun. And breathing out, hello, grass. Inhale your right foot back. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, mountain. Inhale, hello, sun. Exhale, hello, grass. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, twisting right. Inhale, center. And exhale, mountain. Two more. Inhale, hello, sun. Exhale, hello, grass. Inhale, right foot back. Exhale, twisting left. Inhale, center. And exhale, mountain. Last one. Inhale, hello, sun. And exhale, hello, grass. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. And exhale, mountain. So that's a great way, it's a great brain break, and it's a great way to warm up our bodies and breath. And I've adapted a traditional sun salutation so that we don't have to put our hands on the floor. I also like to start with kindergarten and first grade by just asking the class, who in this room is an artist? And usually like 100% of the hands go up. Which I think is just so amazing. And they tell you, I said, well, and if they don't go up, I say, well, who likes to tell stories? Who likes to dance to music? Who likes to sing along to that music? And then everybody gets all excited and they tell me about their uncle that has a guitar and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that is our sun salutation warm up. And then, so Kimberly had found this article that is relevant to Mango, Abuela, and Me. This is a Time article called Cuba, Migrant Journey from Havana to the United States. So in the story that we're reading, Abuela, or grandma, has lived most of her life in Cuba, and she's getting to an age where it's time for her to move in with the little girl, Mia, and her family. And so those of you who have already commented on the Padlet, thank you for doing that. And if you want to take a look at the article, there's a link in the resources. And if you want to just do a quick note on the Padlet thinking about what do you think it would be like to move to make that journey all the way from Cuba to the United States. And we can share some back if we want, or we can keep moving along.
Hey, so Kelly, do you want me to mention the fishbowl real quick then?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is, because we have 60 people in the session, I learned a technique from the Alliance Theater called fishbowl, which I think would be a really great technique in your classroom as well. Well, basically you tell a section of the class to have their cameras on, and everyone else turns their cameras off. So for this fishbowl, I would like for everybody who is a kindergartner teacher, not a kindergartner, and kindergarten teacher through third grade teacher to have your cameras on, and everybody else to turn your cameras off for this particular activity. And once we get started, Kelly is going to stop presenting so that we can actually kind of see each other as we do this very easy and accessible theater activity that you can also use in your classroom. So Kelly, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Great. Okay, thank you. In the story, Mango, Abuela, and Me, we have the characters Mango, who is a parrot, who we're going to talk about in just a moment. We have Abuela, who is grandma. Mia, who's the main character, the little girl. And then we have Mammy and Papi, the parents. So she's moving to the USA now. And all right, so this is another exercise called the character walk. So we are going to move our bodies and imitate the characters of Mia, Abuela, and Mango. All right, so I am going to stop my screen share and let's begin. So go ahead and find your space again.
Okay, and Kelly, I'm going to turn this on to gallery view.
Right.
That way we can see everybody in our fishbowl. I'm a big good sport and participate too.
All right, so let's begin walking in place. And you're just going to walk in place as yourself. And just notice how you would feel on a normal Wednesday morning and how you might walk into the classroom. Now, notice how your movement might change if suddenly it became very cold. How would you move differently? Notice if your arms are closer to your body or further away from your body. Notice if your movement speeds up or slows down, right? And then how does your movement change if it was suddenly very hot in the room? Does your movement slow down? Are your limbs further away or closer to your body? Yeah, exactly. All right. Now, how would you move if you were on your way to your final class of 2022 school year? Like it's the last day of school. How does that change the way you move your body? Right? Are you quick? Are you light? Right? Or how would your movement change if it was a rainy day and you had 5 tests today? Oh man, how would your posture be different? Nice. All right, now notice just for a second, if every movement that you made started from your shoulders. So as you walk around the room, you're leading with your shoulders. How does that change? And what kind of characters can we make with this kind of movement? What kind of character would move like this? What about if you were leading with your hips? What kind of character would move and lead with their hips? Right? Maybe like a cowboy or a cowgirl. Right? What about if you were just leading all your movements with your right elbow? What kind of character would move like that? Maybe a clown? Awesome. Okay, everyone. Now we're going to move like Mia. So if you're in K5, let's go ahead and just move like normal. right? So Mia walks to school, and when she says goodbye to her abuela, she says, "Adios, abuela. I'm going to school." Adios, abuela. I'm going to school. Great. And so that's Mia. Now, how does abuela move her body differently than Mia, right? So let's see if we can change our posture, right? So abuela probably moves a little bit slower, right? She might be a little bit hunched over. Maybe she is even touching her back. Maybe abuela is holding on to a cane, and maybe she's a little shaky and unsteady. Yeah. And when abuela talks to Mia, she loves her, right? So she might say something like, "Te amo, Mia." So let's all repeat that. Ready? Te amo, Mia. And that's abuela. And then lastly, we are going to move like the character Mango. Now, Mango is not a human. Mango is a parrot. So who can raise their hand and tell me what are parrots known for?
And feel free to unmute.
Mm-hmm.
Repeating words.
That's exactly right. Parrots repeat words. So I've got a parrot. This is Mango. Everybody say hi, Mango. Hey, everybody. I love repeating words. Can everybody repeat after Mango? Hello?
Hello.
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 Peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Nighty night.
Nighty
Night.
I love you.
I love
you.
Hold me tight.
Hold me tight.
So this parrot is the hook of the lesson. And I've got this great movement sequence. The song is from Kinder Music. And there's a link on the reference sheet. And we're going to do a little song called Parrot Talk by Kinder Music. So let me show you guys the movements. They're very simple. So we're going to go, hello, peekaboo. Other hand, good morning. And then both hands, how are you? I'm hungry. Nighty night. I love you. Hold me tight. All right, you guys are professionals. I think we're ready to add music. Here it is. All right. Oh, I forgot I have feathers. So let's flap our wings. Let's flap slow. No, slow.
Flapping in the tree.
And down.
Fellow comes to look at me.
Nice. And up.
Feathers yellow, blue, and red.
And
I
down.
called to him, and then
Here
he
we go.
said,
Hello.
"Peekaboo,
Good morning.
how are you?
I'm
Hungry. Nighty night. I love you. Hold me tight. Hold me tight."
So we can flap up
So flapping
and down. Diagonal.
Sparrow comes to look at me.
Good.
Feathers yellow, blue, and red. I called to him, and then he said,
Hello.
"Peekaboo, good morning.
How are you?
I'm hungry. Nighty night.
I love you.
Hold me tight. Hold me tight."
right, everyone, go ahead and have a seat. Let's get back to Zoom.
Thank
Kelly,
you, Kelly, for
There's
sharing
everybody.
that really fun hook. It's always fun to start with a song or something when you're reading a new book or starting a new unit. So that's a really fun musical way to kind of activate kids' learning.
Mhm. And we're going to bring Mango to lunch today so everybody can say hi this afternoon. Great. Okay. So another thing that we can do with this lesson is there's Spanish words in this lesson. So we can, oh yes, Rosemary says everybody looked great. Everybody did look great. We can add gestures to Spanish words. So for example, I'm going to come back to the PowerPoint. And so we have 3 Spanish words for today's lesson. One is buenos dias, and buenos dias means good morning. So let's make a sunshine with our arms. Hold that sunshine over your head, and everybody say, buenos dias. Lovely, buenos dias. The Spanish word for parrot is un loro. So we can say, un loro. Everybody repeat, un loro. And the gesture for you is un loro. Good. And then the Spanish word for little that is in the book is poquito. So you can make yourself little. Poquito. Great. And so in a longer session, you can divide the room into thirds, and we go in rounds. You know, 1/3 of the when I point to you, you do your gesture and say your phrase. So I would point to one group and we would say, buenos dias. I point to another group and we'd say, un loro. And another group and we would say, poquito. Good. Awesome. And that is a few Spanish words and gestures. So here we have some screenshots from the book Mango, Abuela, and Me. The book is
Kelly,
published.
this is my first and second year teachers have a copy of this book. And for my third year teachers, you can pick up a copy at the lunch today. We did order enough books for every teacher to have one. So if you want to get your book out and look at it while we do this, great. And if you don't have one, we've got these great screenshots.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the book is published in both English and Spanish, and the screenshots are a mix. So this is towards the beginning of the story when Mia is getting ready to have Abuela move into her room. And there is a hamster character as well named Edmund. So we see Edmund in the hamster wheel. And there's a Cuban phrase at the top. It says pin pan pun. And pin pan pun means it'll all work out. It means everything will be fine. We're going to even it out. We're going to figure it out, kind of thing. This is towards the beginning of the story. We have Abuela and Mia. The rest of the winter, while Mammy and Pappy are at work, Abuela waits for me to get home from school. Then we bundle up in thick socks and handmade sweaters to walk to the park and toss bread to the sparrows. My Espanol is not good enough to tell her the things Abuela should know, like how I am the very best in art and how I can run as fast as the boys. Then I remember the word cards we taped in our classroom to help Kim. So while Abuela fries our empanadas, I put up word cards too, until everything is covered, even Edmund. Soon we are playing oi, ed, hear and say, all around the house. But that night, she still calls my pillow a palo, and she says Edmund is a gangster. We'll keep practicing, I whisper. So Mia and her mother go to the pet store one day and she sees this bright parrot that has the same colors as the mango tree that used to be in Abuela. And she says, "Can we please bring this parrot home for Abuela?" And of course, Mammy says, yes. After school the next day, while Abuela and I are making meat pies for our snack, I pretend I am Miss Wilson. "Dough," I say, pointing to the ball. Abuela says, "Dough, masa," and rolls it flat. "Masa," I say. She drops a spoonful of meat in place. "Carne." "Carne," I say. "Meat." "Pasas," raisins. "Aceite," oil. So towards the middle of the story, you can see that Abuela and Mia are starting to communicate with each other and find ways to teach each other their other languages. Okay, so that is a brief excerpt from Mango, Abuela, and Me. And so this is an assignment for your Padlet. So the question is, how did Abuela feel at the beginning of the story and why? And how did she feel towards the middle of the story and why? And so we can actually, if anyone would like to raise their hand and say how Abuela felt in the beginning or middle of the story.
She felt lonely, scared.
Yes, she felt lonely and scared, exactly. And then can we all show on our faces what somebody looks like when they're lonely or scared? Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice, everybody. Good. And Kimberly just dropped the link to the Padlet in the chat. So one assignment for today's workshop is to do a little video of yourself. You can, you know what, let me screen share to Padlet. So here's our Padlet. And so when you scroll over.
Kelly, I don't think it's sharing for some reason.
Oh, okay. I think.
Do you want me to share on my end? I've got it pulled up.
You know what? I think I didn't share it. So let's I can do it. Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, great. Thank you. So you can see upload a video of yourself, a puppet, or a Bitmoji to show how Abuela felt in the beginning or middle of the story and why. I did an example one a couple of days ago that's on there. It looks like some of you all are working on that. So thank you.
And just as a reminder, there is like a little plus sign, basically, that you click on this little plus sign to add to that column. So if you get confused, and to take a picture, you may have to turn off your Zoom camera. So that's one little thing that we did figure out. Kelly?
Great, thanks. Do we want to take a look at some of those or?
Great. There's already a couple really good ones. Michelle, thank you. That's an awesome one. Y'all have found such great apps during this past year, or you may have already known them. So great job. So yeah, some people have already started to put theirs up. Really nice job. So thank you for everybody who's continuing to do that. Wonderful. And there is Kelly's little example. Great.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Let's see. I think we should keep moving on and move into our feather breath. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So I got some inexpensive feathers from Amazon, and they came in a bag like this. And so I've been able to use them for this lesson, and it's come back a couple of times as well. Let's see. I think we're good. All right, so so this is a mindfulness exercise that you can do with feathers. And there's also a couple of YouTube links of other examples of this exercise. So a feather, I said, yeah. So here's a feather, nice orange feather. And so you can reach up high and let the feather go. Watch how it moves slowly through the air and how you can catch it. And then while you hold the feather in one hand, you're going to take a big breath, blowing out a birthday candle, and watch how the breath makes the feather move. Your breath is so strong. Now, hold the feather in the other hand, and you're going to see if you can do a more slow, controlled breath. So if you place the feather just at the base of your hand, your goal is to only move the feather to the end of your hand rather than blowing it all the way off. So the goal is to go just a little bit, right? So we can practice our big breath, or we can practice our mindful breath. Like that. Great. And so that is feather breath, and that's a good way to kind of decompress after all that dancing and excitement. So the next thing we have is an improvisation game. And this is a great way, I think, to put us into the mindset, because we're going to get ready for our mock trial based on Lord of the Flies. But in the meantime, this is a two-person, how we're going to do it for Zoom is I'm going to ask for 2 volunteers. The first person is going to just start miming a physical gesture, right? So I might do something like this, right? The second person is going to ask me, what are you doing? Kelly, what are you doing? And instead of answering the thing that I'm doing, I'm going to say something else, playing basketball. So person 2 is going to start playing basketball. And then I'm going to ask them, what are you doing? And they're not going to say basketball. They're going to say something totally different. I'm washing my car, right? And then the next person, and then we go back and forth. So we can do a few rounds of this game. And so 2 people at a time, figure maybe 4 or 5 times, and then we'll move on to the next pair. So do we have 2 volunteers to play? What are you doing?
And this could be any grade level if you would like to volunteer.
Yvonne, are you speaking? Miss Kelly? No? She's like, mm-mm. Okay. Okay. Miss Nilsson, Nanette Nilsson. Yes. All right. So if you could please unmute. And was that a hand? Miss Katie? Yes. Katie, please unmute. Okay. So can everybody see the 2 people, or should we all turn our cameras on?
I think once they start speaking, that it should make them come up. But if other folks would turn off their cameras, I think that'll make it go more to those 2 people.
That sounds good. So if you are not those 2 volunteers, let's just briefly turn our cameras off, please. And then let's begin. Ms. Nilsson, can you please start with doing something physical? Thank you.
Okay, gotta think about this. I'm thinking.
And then Katie, when you're ready, you can ask her what she's doing.
Miss Nielsen, what are you doing?
I am sweeping the floor. Miss Katie, what are you doing?
I am washing my hair. Miss Nielsen, what are you doing?
I'm cleaning out the litter box.
Ooh.
Miss Katie, what are you doing?
I'm eating a popsicle.
Nice.
Miss Nielsen, what are you doing?
I am driving a car.
Okay, and scene.
Awesome.
Let's give them a round of applause. That was fantastic,
Awesome.
guys.
And Kelly, I wanted to mention too, I've done this activity a lot, like in social studies classrooms, like for example, if we're getting ready to study like colonial times, I might say to the kids, you have to pick activities that they would do during colonial times. Or if you're starting to do something during like the 1920s, or if you're setting a certain habitat or like more animals. So you can you can tell the kids ahead of time that it has to be like a certain framework. It has to be activities for colonial times, or it has to be activities from a desert habitat. And one of the great things to do with smaller kids is brainstorm those activities first so that they don't go, I can't think of anything.
Right.
That is a kind of a good cheat too, to brainstorm some of the types of activities you wanted to choose from to front load like an era in time or a habitat or something.
I love that.
Kelly, something that I like doing about that, I didn't feel any pressure to be doing it really well. I mean, like Katie wasn't like cleaning the windows, like she was probably never going to guess that I was cleaning the windows. But so it put less pressure on me. And because then I didn't feel like I was doing a really bad job acting.
You totally looked like you were cleaning the windows.
You did.
Okay. It gave me the freedom to act without feeling the pressure. Like she's never going to guess what I'm doing. So I like that.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And and it's kind of, you have to put your brain into a certain mode, to be saying one thing and doing something else. So you're thinking on like a couple of different levels there. Do we want to give this game another go? Do we have any?
So we may need to move on just so we have enough time for
gotcha.
our mock trial.
Sure thing. All right.
I could play this game all day. It's really fun.
It is fun. All right. So let's come back. All right, so we're going to come back to our PowerPoint. We played What Are You Doing? Okay, so so Lord of the Flies by William Golding. For those of you who need a refresher, it's about schoolboys that get stranded in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on an island. They're British, and without any parents or civilization, what unravels? You can see on the far left the redhead guy named Jack. He's one of the main characters in the book. He ends up taking on like a dictator role and ruling by fear. He ends up kind of forcibly recruiting all of the boys on the island to hunt with him. So that's Jack. Okay, second one is Ralph. Ralph is I think our protagonist. He comes across as a really good kid. I think he is. He's automatically appointed the original leader of the island. You can see he has the conch shell, right? The conch shell is they use the conch, whoever's holding the conch shell is the one who's allowed to be talking in their meetings. But what happens is that Jack ends up sort of taking the power away from Ralph, and the book ends with all of the boys on the island literally hunting Ralph and him running for his life. In the middle, we have Piggy, who is smart and has some really great ideas, is less of a leader. He really gets along well with Ralph. His glasses get used to start the fire using the sunlight through the glasses. Those glasses get stolen by Jack and them. Piggy ends up dying. And so that is one of the topics for our trial. And then we have on the far right are the twins. So we have Sam and Eric, and they're sort of inseparable. And I can't help but think of the Weasley twins when I think of Sam and Eric from Lord of the Flies. And then I believe we have Simon. So Simon, you can see over here, Simon also gets killed. There's an incident in the book where a paratrooper from World War II, a dead paratrooper lands on the island, and the way that the parachute is billowing up and down in the wind looks like a monster. So everybody they're all scared of the monster. They decide to go hunt the monster. comes out saying, oh, you guys, it's not a monster, it's not a monster, but everybody's so riled up, and they end up killing Simon. So there's 2 deaths on this island. The first is Simon, and the second is Piggy. And with that was my summary. I have a lovely video as well that I'm going to share with you, which is a 2-minute book report that I found on YouTube. I think it's pretty great.
This is a story about a group of British boys who crash on an island after escaping an atomic war. Ralph meets Piggy in the jungle and they gather the other boys together by blowing into a pink conch shell. As boys of all ages begin to appear from the jungle, a boy named Jack emerges, leading a group of choir boys. Ralph, Jack, and Simon hike up to the top of a small mountain to survey the land. Ralph suggests that they build a fire to signal any passing boats, so the boys start a fire with Piggy's glasses, but the fire goes out. Jack volunteers his choir to be in charge of hunting and upkeeping the fire. One of the little boys shares that he's seen a snake-like beast in the trees. The other boys think he's seen things, but the little boy disappears. Jack and the choir boys continue to hunt, while Ralph and Simon build shelters. They see a boat on the horizon, but realize that the signal fire has gone out. Ralph is upset that Jack let the fire go out, but Jack returns with a dead pig and they feast on the meat. Ralph calls an assembly and expresses his irritation that things have gotten too lax on the island. Ralph stresses the importance of upkeeping the fire, while Jack wants to hunt. During the night, a man in a parachute lands on the island, but none of the boys see him. Ralph, Jack, and Robert explore at night and see a mysterious figure at the top of a hill. They assume it's the beast and run away. At the next meeting, everyone knows about the encounter with the beast. Jack gets upset and leaves with a few of the boys, while Ralph and the others continue to watch the fire. Jack and his group hunt a pig and kill it, sticking its head on a stick in the ground. Jack needs fire, and so he steals it from Ralph's camp and invites everyone to his feast. Simon wanders into the forest and speaks to the pig head on the stick. Ralph and Piggy join Jack and the rest of the boys for a feast. A storm pulls in as the boys dance and pretend to kill a pig. Simon wanders into the party, and Jack and his hunters mistaken him for the beast, stabbing him with their spears. Simon dies from his wounds before he can tell the others that the figure at the top of the mountain is actually a dead man with a parachute. Jack and his hunters attack Ralph's camp, stealing Piggy's glasses. Ralph and Piggy confront Jack about taking the glasses, but Jack and Ralph get into a fight. Piggy is hit with a rock and falls to his death. Ralph runs away and hides in the forest. Jack and his group sweep the island in search of Ralph, lighting a fire behind them. In the end, a Navy officer appears on the beach to rescue the boys, and Ralph cries as he reflects on the past events leading up to their rescue. If this video was helpful, please share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, so now that we have a little refresher of Lord of the Flies, we can start to move into our mock trial. I am wondering if we need a little break, or are we okay to?
Yeah, let's maybe just take like a 2-minute break for people to grab a coffee or run to the restroom or that kind of thing. And also they may, and then when we come back, we will go into, we'll do the instruction for the breakout rooms and everything. That
Okay.
sounds perfect.
Great, guys.
Thank you,
All right.
Kelly.
Sure thing. So we'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and if anyone's having trouble, if anyone has been emailed by anyone that's having trouble with Zoom, this is also live broadcasting onto YouTube right now, so people can also just go into SmartARTS GVL on YouTube to watch this in real time. Great. Thank you. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay. So we are going to launch into this mock trial of Lord of the Flies. The timeline is after the book is over. And
Kelly, will you just briefly tell everybody what a mock trial is if they're not familiar with that term?
Oh, sure. So in the way that, the criminal justice system puts actual humans on trial, we are going to do a pretend theatrical version, but using the same format and script, if you will, as a traditional courtroom would use. So it's cool because
in this case, you've kind of written some scripts, whereas normally you would have. Can you just talk a little bit about how you've kind of made a short version of this, but really the kids would do all that kind of research and work normally?
Yes, absolutely. So the way that I see it, the trial is divided into, we have our opening statements, the prosecution and the defense, and then the prosecution will call their witnesses. The defense can cross-examine. And then the defense calls their witnesses with the prosecution cross-examining. Then we have any additional evidence that might get presented. We have the closing remarks of the prosecution and then the closing remarks of the defense. So in a classroom setting, the content, like the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about, would be determined from the students because they would be doing their homework and reading the book and coming in with ideas. But for the purposes of our workshop, I've written it for you. I've gone ahead and written a script for, so the first 6 breakout rooms 1 through 6, you guys are going to be working on the following assignments. And it's all scripted for you. So you'll see there's, if you look at the instructions for that breakout room, all you would need to do is assign roles. And then if you go to your gallery view on your Zoom, and if the director or someone in the group can go ahead and record, then you guys are just going to read that script.
Yeah, and that's why we wanted you to get that Loom, because it'll allow you to have your camera on in Zoom and record your screen using that Loom downloaded desktop app. Okay, so back to
yeah. So so we're going to go ahead and if anybody has any questions before we break into our groups.
So Kelly, do you want to go back now and kind of go back to that slide that I interrupted you on? Now that I know where we're going. I think you were on the one before.
This one.
Yep.
Yes.
Right here.
Okay. So the premise of this trial, time-wise, it takes place after the book has ended, when the boys have been rescued and they're back in civilization. So Jack, the redhead, he's being charged with the murders of Simon and Piggy, and he's being charged with the attempted murder of Ralph. So what happens in the book, Simon gets eaten by the crowd, essentially. Jack is sort of the ringleader of the crowd, but everyone participates in it, including Ralph. The murder of Piggy happens during an argument where this jiffy over here is the murder of Piggy, where a character, Roger is like Jack's henchman, and he throws a boulder that hits Piggy and sends him into the ocean, and that's how Piggy dies. And then Ralph, at the very end of the story, he's running they're chasing him with spears, and he falls in the sand and looks up to see boots of a naval officer that they've been rescued. And so if that officer was like 45 minutes late, like he might have died. So this trial so Jack is on trial. It's the people versus Jack Meridew, and he's on trial for the murders of Simon, of Piggy, and of the attempted murder of Ralph. And when you take a look at the scripts in the breakout rooms, if you have any, if you love this story and you know it really well already and you want to add any little things into it, feel free to do that. Like I said, the first 6 breakout rooms are scripted, and it's going to be more theatrical. Breakout rooms 7 and 8, your assignment is going to be a visual presentation. So the instructions for group 7 is to create either a Facebook profile or a cartoon depiction, or so either a Facebook profile of something that's going to back up the prosecution. So you want to show Jack, he's back from the island, but he's still acting like a sociopath. Or maybe you're going to show Ralph's Facebook profile saying that he's still healing from this trauma and can't get over the atrocities that he faced on the island. You could do a memorial page for Piggy and or Simon, with something in there about how they died. Or another.
Kelly, you provided some great links in there too to some apps online that will very quickly help them do a couple of those things.
In the reference sheet, you'll see the links to the breakout room instructions, the link to download the Zoom app, not Zoom, Loom, the Loom app. And then once you have that recording, then you're going to want to just upload it to Padlet. You can see that there are, I think you can see when you scroll over on Padlet, there's 8 columns, one for each breakout room. And so you can go ahead and pop your assignment right in there by pressing the plus button.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, great. Any questions, teachers, before we let you have this mock trial experience and throw you guys into some breakout rooms? Okay, well, I'm gonna do it. And then I think we're gonna take about 10, 12 minutes to let everybody do this. So,
Kimberly,
yes.
I was just clicking on the Facebook profile link and it's saying request access. So whoever's in group 7 and 8 won't be able to open up that file.
Okay, Kelly, if you just want to change the permission on that, that'll probably fix that really fast. You just click on share and at the very bottom, it changes outside the organization or open to everybody. Okay, thanks for noticing that. We'll get that fixed right away.
You could also just make a copy of it for your group.
Yes.
The template stays a template.
Oh, that's probably what it is that you have to make a copy of it just from where we downloaded it. So that's a great point. Thank you for that. Okay, well, we're going to create these 8 breakout rooms. And remember, the person who has the first name highest in the alphabet is going to be the kind of director. And then you'll just need to pick a recorder as well, someone that's got that Loom desktop app downloaded. Right? Okay, so one of the things going to happen when Kelly gets back is, so instead of like if we were in a classroom, you know, you would just have an order and every group would just come up and do their section. It's funny, I was watching on Netflix last night this really silly teenage TV show called I Have Never, and they actually did a mock trial of The Great Gatsby in their social studies classroom. And they were studying, you know, I think it was like an English social studies crossover. And so it was really fun to they kind of did this like little 2-minute version of the mock trial there. But it was really neat because they had the kids wearing costumes and stuff. And so I think that if you were doing a mock trial with kids, that could obviously be another element. You know, you could have set designers, costume designers, or let the kids dress up. So there's definitely a lot of fun ideas of how you can explore different eras in history or different novel worlds and stuff through mock trial. I think we almost have everybody here. So what Kelly's going to do for this particular one is she's just going to play all the recordings to put the trial together. Whereas in your classroom, you would just call up each group to do their section, or one group would go and then another group would rebuttal and that kind of thing. Let me see if Kelly is back.
Okay.
Please rise. The SmartARTS Council of Zoom jurisdiction is now in session. The Honorable Judge A presiding. Please raise your right hands, jury. Do you promise that you will listen to this case and render a true and fair verdict for this defendant?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Your Honor, today's case is the People versus Jack Meredith.
Your Honor, people of the jury, to begin our case, I would like for all of you to understand what life was like on the island for my client. Some of the boys on the island acted like savages, while others became terrorized and victimized. I've prepared the following footage of the types of personalities found on the island. This is the footage of the boys just before boarding the airplane. See for yourselves.
The fire. Oh my God, the fire. Come on, you lot, help.
Hunt! 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 Hunt killed the pig. That was murder.
You'll get back to where you came from. I'm all rough. Am I bleeding?
You couldn't stop me coming if I wanted.
Okay. Well done, group one. So that is the prosecution opening statement. So now we're going to move to the defense opening statement. Breakout group two.
Your Honor, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm trying to make it big. Here we go. Okay. I do that.
Your Honor, desperate times call for desperate measures. My client acted on pure adrenaline and instinct to survive and cannot be held accountable. To get an idea of the absolute chaos that the defendant had to overcome, I've also prepared the following footage. This is a reenactment based on private interviews with the survivors upon their return. Food, water, shelter, beast, rescue.
Fantastic. Well done, group two.
Yay, group two.
Yay. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at group three's assignments. I think I do want to open this in a new window. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, plaintiff. You may call your first witness. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution calls able officer. Please raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing? Hello. Please tell us in your own words how you came to be today. Well, the Navy ship was returning home to England when we saw smoke, discovering a dozen or more boys that had been stranded for weeks or even months. Boys from painted and tribal paint. One boy had been running from the group. The boys reported that there had been 2 deaths. They did not have a total head count, though. Did the boys appear to be fighting? Objection, Your Honor. Prosecution is leading the witness. Overruled. You may proceed. Well, the boys who had been running stated that the other boys were trying to kill him. Thank you. No further questions. The defense may question the witness. Was anyone visibly hurt when you arrived on the island? Not to my knowledge. No. They seemed to be playing a game. Thank you. No further questions. You may sit down.
Bravo. Bravo, group three. Great. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next section of group four. Three, two, one.
Your Honor, the prosecution calls Ralph.
Please raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Now, Ralph, can you tell us in your own words about your experience on the island?
Well, when we first got there, I was really excited because there were no grown-ups to tell us what to do. But then we realized we were hungry and there were things that we needed and things that needed to be done, and everything was getting really dirty and nobody was in charge. So the group, they appointed me chief and I tried to lead as best as I could, but then Jack convinced everybody to go hunt instead. And then we thought there was a beast. And one night, everyone got really wound up, and we thought we were killing the beast. But Simon. Then I watched Roger launch a boulder that struck Piggy and killed him. Soon after that, Jack convinced the group to hunt me. I was running from them when the officer found us. Your Honor, I have no further questions from this witness.
The defense may question the witness. Witness. True that you and Piggy participated in the murder of Simon? Yes, but no further questions. You may step down.
Yay. I love that one. We're getting into some drama here. All right. Okay, here's our video from breakout group 5.
The prosecution calls Sam and Eric. Please raise your right hands. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? We do. Sam and Eric, can you describe your relationship with the defendant? We joined Jack's group because he made us. We were afraid he'd kill us if he didn't. He was trying to kill Ralph when the ship rescued us. Did you witness Piggy's death? We did. Roger pushed a boulder at him and he splattered all over the rocks and into the ocean. Was the defendant involved in Piggy's death? Well, sort of. Roger does whatever Jack tells him to do, so he probably told him to do that. Defense may question the witness. Sam and Eric, is it true that you willfully joined Jack's tribe of hunters? Well, we were pretty hungry, but we were trying to help out Ralph as much as we could. Is it true that you participated in Simon's accidental murder? Objection. Sustained. Did you see Jack actually hurt or harm anyone? Please answer the question. No, sir. No more questions. You may step down.
Yay. Awesome. All right. So moving on to the defense.
We're good.
And action.
Thank you. Defense, you may call your first witness. Thank you, Your Honor. The defense calls Jack Farragut. Please raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, I do. Yeah. Please tell us in your own words what happened on the island. Everyone was hungry. Nobody was doing anything. So I killed a pig and fed everyone. Ralph was a terrible leader. We would all have starved if it weren't for me. Thank you, Jack. No further questions. The prosecution may question the witness. Mr. Meredith, how did you come to be the leader of the island? Everyone was hungry, and they realized that I knew how to hunt. Did you force or intimidate the boys on the island? Of course not. Everyone was free to do whatever they pleased. Not like here. Simon died. It was an accident. It was dark. We were scared and thought he was a beast. How did Piggy die? He was clumsy. The rock hit him by accident, but he lost his footing. Were you attempting to kill Ralph? No, sir. We were playing a game. No more questions. The prosecution may question the witness.
No questions.
You may step down. The defense rests.
All right. Well done, group 5. Okay. That was group 6. Okay. So group 7, we are looking at this Facebook profile. All right, let's go ahead and look at what group 7 has uploaded here. Oh, okay.
I think we just need to give you access to it.
Okay. I will put my email in the chat.
Or I can give them.
Sorry,
Well,
I'm
me.
fixing that right now.
Yeah, whoever recorded
If you
it can go
refresh
in
it,
and change
Kelly,
it.
it should. If you refresh it,
Okay.
it should.
All right, cool.
Or should I say refresh the Google Slides.
Yeah, I realized that after I. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let's go ahead and. So this is the Facebook profile of Jack Meridew. Uh-oh. This is awesome, guys. What's on your mind? Meet up with the boys tonight. Interested. King of the island, now ruling the mainland. Okay, it says, early life. I come from a privileged family and I'm the second boy in my family. My older brother was pretty easygoing. I was more determined. I'm in the choir at school. I was a section leader because I was the best tenor. When a shipwreck left me on the island, I stepped into my destiny and took control to keep us alive. Without me, we would all have perished. We returned from the island only having lost 2 boys. Acceptable losses, in my opinion. I attended Oxford for uni, majoring in business. I took a managerial role in my father's company. I cut labor costs and increased productivity with some innovative motivational techniques. Lazy bums always wanting breaks and worried about safety. I arrange hunting trips for large game on the continent or abroad. Gun laws are too restrictive in the UK. Love that. Wow, you guys did a lot of work on this. Wow, look at that. The only way to party. Group 7, does anyone want to say anything about what we're looking at, or am I doing you justice?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm the most cold-hearted SOB you'll ever meet. A painting of me in power from the best time of my life. Self-portrait I drew, SmartARTS program. Grin and bear it. How could I take over the world? Wow, awesome. This is definitely showing his character. This is great. Things that Jack's friends, Joseph Stalin Fan Club, a group devoted to learning how to win followers and intimidate people. Choir boys, loyalty first, follow the leader. We rule the island and will soon rule it all. Try to join and we may let you. Putin, sex symbol, president for life. Want to take over your country? My tips can help you achieve power without anyone realizing it until it's too late. And then we have Piggy. I love to eat and discover new ideas. I am friendly and creative. I may not be fast on my feet, but I'm fast at my wit. Fantastic. Guys, that's group 7, guys. Well done. All right. And then we have one more group. So this is essentially, all right, that's fine. Group 8 is the closing argument for the defense in an illustration. Oh, if I expand post, oh, look at that. It's still kind of, all right. We've got the pig. We're so hungry. I get hangry when I'm hungry. I don't want to kill the pig, but we have to eat to survive. I see. So basically the defense's case is that we did what we had to do and that nobody is guilty of anything. That's great. Wow. How did you, that's beautiful. Thanks everybody. Good job, group 8. Good job, all the groups. So, let's come back here.
And great job, Kelly, putting that together. That went really good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so the idea is that the in lieu of the closing statements that we've presented these visual aids. All right. So without further ado, it is time for jury deliberations. So everyone, this is going to happen on Padlet, and I invite you to make 3 votes. So we're voting independently on whether Jack is guilty or not guilty for the murder of Simon, of Piggy, and the attempted murder of Ralph. So you're going to heart the corresponding post. You should vote 3 times total. All right, so let's look at Padlet Live.
And Kelly, is it just the actual members of the jury, or everybody in the Zoom can vote now?
I think everyone in the Zoom can vote now. So we'll give this.
And we just click the heart button to vote. It's underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, cute. Okay, some people are writing comments too, but if you wouldn't mind also, like, do you see down there where it says guilty? If you think he's guilty, go ahead and heart. Yeah, like that.
Oh, I see. Guilty or not guilty.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, guilty votes are going up. There. A couple of not guilty votes.
Those are great memes.
Thanks.
Okay, and just while everybody is voting, we are going to be wrapping up here in just a minute. So just make sure that you do complete that attendance question at some point today. I know you may not have time between getting here and over to the lunch, so that's fine if you want to do that later today. And then we will be bringing those attendance codes over to the Peace Center so that you can get those and put those in. Of course, if y'all have any questions, email me, and it may be this afternoon, but we'll definitely get you sorted out at some point today. Kelly, this has just been so fun. Really turned out great.
Thanks. I'm having fun too. The time has flown for me, so I hope it's flown by for you guys as well. So it does appear that for the murder of Simon, that there does seem to be an overwhelming guilty verdict. For the murder of Piggy, also guilty. And for the attempted murder of Ralph, it does look like he's guilty on all 3 counts. Does anyone want to share, if anyone who voted not guilty, would they be interested in sharing why?
I voted not guilty for Simon because, okay, it's been a long time since I've read the book, but that they were thinking they were killing the beast when they killed Simon. So that I'd go for manslaughter maybe on that one, but that's why I voted not guilty on the murder charge.
Right.
For that.
Yes. There's some comments in the chat as well. Yes, unintentional manslaughter. Yes, great. So yeah, I mean, and this is a great, if you're emphasizing the plot and the characters in your lesson plan, you're going to do that. If you're emphasizing more about like the criminal justice system and is this, beyond a reasonable doubt, then that's going to be a different conversation. Oh, good. All right, Kimberly. There is Wi-Fi at the Peace Center. Fabulous.
Yeah, sorry. So just for those of you that had some questions about planning this afternoon, you may just want to, the main focus of today is just pick some dates, pick a topic with your artist. You probably won't have time to necessarily fill out that whole form. And then you want to have another Zoom meeting with your artist, maybe sometime in August to kind of like really get that form filled out. But today you want to just kind of like talk about the curriculum you may want to do, figure out a topic, start generating ideas, and pick some dates, basically, is mainly what you want to accomplish today. All right, does anybody have any questions for Kelly about mock trial? Let's see if we see some more in the Zoom.
So are you saying we don't need computers then today?
It would be up to you. If you want to bring your computer, the Peace Center does have Wi-Fi there. But also if you just want to bring a notebook and like your calendar, I mean, I think the biggest thing is to have your calendar so that you can, start talking about the curriculum, start brainstorming ideas, that type of thing.
Okay.
So totally optional, up to you. You probably want to meet today, then have a Zoom meeting before the school year starts, and then have maybe one more meeting like a couple weeks before you guys are going to actually do the unit. And then your artist will also come and observe your classroom one time just to kind of get a feel for your classroom culture. Great question. Any other questions about process drama or later today? If you are not going to be in the luncheon today, just send me an email of the time that you're planning to meet with your teacher, your teaching artist, and then I will send you that code this afternoon after the lunch. I've already sent a few people the codes out, but I'm going to have to get out of here and go to the Peace Center in a second. So yes, I will, after the lunch today, be sending out codes to those of you that can't come to the lunch.
Kimberly, can you tell me where I can find the planning form to print out?
Yes. So if you want to print that out, if you go to our blog, which is, and let me share my screen real quick so that you can see, basically the SmartARTS GVL blogspot.com, and then you just click on forms. And then it has the unit plan and application, click here. But also in that electronic teacher folder that is at the bottom of today's resource sheet, there's a PDF version of that there as well. But this would probably be fastest just to open this up here if you want to bring a printout copy today. Great question.
Do you still have it where you can get on your Google Drive to do that, Kimberly?
Yes. Yeah. So absolutely. So you can, from this point, when you open it here electronically, you can just make a copy and just save it into your Google Drive. And then that way you can edit your version of it. Great question. Thank you, Julie. Great. Let's see here. Let me close my screen so I can see if we have any other questions I maybe am missing. Melanie, I think everybody has received their artist. I sent some emails out about 3 weeks ago that copied in everybody in your school and your assignments. But let me just send you a message right now about who that is.
Kimberly, that only went to like one person from our school. So Hannah was the only one that got it for Stone, and she sent it to me. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. Thank you for letting me know that. I was sending emails out to 80 people, so I'm sure there were mistakes. Thank you. Well, great. Yeah, if you for some reason don't know, I am going to have the list with me so that I can confirm that. So if you need to know, just let me know. Right? Okie dokie. Well,
one quick question. When I entered the attendance code yesterday, it said I successfully submitted it, but then it didn't award me points. It's still showing there as the entire SmartARTS total points. So is it not going to assign until today?
It will probably go through today or tomorrow. I think Bradley has to go through and do one more step. So, if your code submitted, great, you're getting credit for the day. But yeah, particularly for our year 2 and year 1, it probably won't all go through till the end of the week.
Okay, gotcha.
But Bradley, if there's any mistakes or something doesn't work, Bradley has like 30 days to fix anything. So we'll be able to get it all. And that's part of the reason I'm doing those attendance questions. That way, if something didn't go through, and if like in a week, you're like, wait a minute, I didn't get my credit. I've got that documentation through those attendance questions that everybody was
Okay.
here, so that I can verify that for Bradley.
Okay, great.
So great question. Thank you.
Yes.
And how do
Okay.
you put in the attendance code? I'm sorry. I guess I don't know.
So basically, it's been a few years for me, but you log into your portal and go to PD, and then you should be able to click on the class and enter the code to get your credit, is what I remember. But another teacher may be able to. Kate, do you want to mention that?
So if you're already in the class, it should pop up at the top of your screen and there'll be a little box that's blinking. You can just put the code right in there.
Okay, so we just send you an email to get that, right, Kimberly?
I'm going to have the code at the lunch, but if you're not at the lunch, just send me an email and I will email it to you.
Okay, thanks so much.
No problem. And Jeff Holland is not going to be at the lunch today. Jeff's mom actually died last week. And so he's going through a little bit of a tough time. So if Jeff Holland is your artist, he's not going to be there today because this all just happened for him, but he will circle back with you next week if you have Jeff Holland, the drummer, as your artist. Yeah, and if you guys have to go, y'all can pop out. We are done. So thank y'all so much for being here today and for being such great sports with this little process drama adventure.
Great work, everybody. See you soon.